So we may have a major trend move in the works here. Well, let's get into it with our daily SPY analysis. It is Tuesday, April 15th, 2025. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe to the channel. Trying to get to 5,000 subscribers here. Also, come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts analysis and live day trading. We're also going to talk about today a little trade review here from this morning. But first of all, we have a really tight market here, and it does appear this market is setting up for some trend. That said, yesterday we were looking for an up market today to possibly push towards that 5,500 handle, maybe even through that, and we didn't really get that. Obviously, we had a market that tried, and there's clearly a seller or group of sellers right here at 5450. Take a look at the SPX. I mean, each time we get up there, we had a nice, ascending triangle starting to play out. It was trying to play out. We were running out of space, but very unusual to see it just kind of like fail without actually following through. It wasn't like a complete failure, like it just broke the trend here, but it is going sideways, so it is trying to consolidate right now. My guess though is, and I said this yesterday, I think if we tried to trend today into that area, we'd probably mean revert into the end of the week and vice versa. So if we were to like dump out here in the power hour, I know I'm doing the video a little early, so forgive me if there's a little bit of action here after the close, but this has been an extremely tight range here today, and probably I think the tightest range since the 26th of February, which is still like 60 points, but it is a very tight range nonetheless. And technically, while momentum here is kind of flipped a little bit on the daily, I do have a technical daily sell signal for tomorrow, which could carry over into Thursday. That does not mean that we're going to crash or anything, but I do think we could see some more backing and filling. And just based on the eye test here, I think if you're a bull anyway, I think you'd want to see like some sort of a like that at the very least, or it needs to base a little bit longer. But that said, like looking at ES here on the hourly, like this is tight. I mean, that's as tight as it can get. Like we should try to break out of this range here tomorrow, even if it doesn't follow through. This is getting extra tight here. Why I think we could break out of the range tomorrow, or probably in the end of the week. Well, tomorrow's VIX expiration, so we will see, or today's VIX expiration, so we will see the VIX get possibly a little bit more unpinned, and it's going to settle just below 30, it looks like. So we could see the macro matter a little bit more. We talked about this yesterday. Don't fight the dealers. It's a dealer market, right? And that will go away a little bit here tomorrow, more so after Friday, which could cause some weakness post OPEX. But we have seen dealer control here. I mean, dude, if this ain't dealer control, look at how tight. I mean, they're just burning out 5,400 and SPY 540 on both sides here. QQQ, right into that 460 area. That's where it hung out most of the day yesterday. So really burning out a lot of premium here, and it's definitely under dealer control. We talked about, TLT, not a coincidence that the 85 level, big dealer spot, we bounced off of that. So we are seeing that a little bit, but that will start to go away tomorrow, which leads me to believe we could see trend to the downside. That doesn't mean that we're looking for a huge crash or anything, but I think we could see some more backing and filling. Could it go up? It's always possible, right? I mean, there's nothing really saying it, but again, if we look at like the daily BB width, still kind of wide. It might need to tighten up a little bit more, and that's kind of where I'm thinking bulls might want to see a pullback. Now I still think that over time here the pain will be higher, but kind of looking for a trend day today. We started off very much so essentially, I know it sounds like contradictory, but it's like we were looking for a trend day today that would get reversed tomorrow. But we started off, boom, like it was ready to go. It was in the cards for sure. And then as soon as we touched that 5450, it's like there's a seller just standing in there every single time. But they're not following through, right? We had tariff headlines this morning, EU expecting everything to get walked back. We had negative headlines. A week ago, we would have been down 100 points in minutes, easily. Like easily. We would have closed down 200-300 on the day probably. But you can see that supportive flow in the market with negative headlines. We're flat for the day. So that is still in play. That does start to leave tomorrow, and we'll see more of it leave after Friday. There's some BOJ talk coming out on Friday as well. So don't forget about that. So we'll talk about more about that, but I want to talk about another thing too, and just to give you guys a trade review. I don't do this all that often here, but this is a perfect. The reason why I brought it up is this market here, when it's this tight after being wide for a very long time. It's important to understand these things, and what I'm going to talk about here is not over trading and trading the market you have, not the one that you want. So we had a trade this morning on ES. We actually had a long that we held the overnight that was, you know, a runner position. We added it back on the break back up here this morning at 54.40, made a nice gain on it, and we had possibly like 2 runner slots out. And came back here, you know, we were looking for, to go back to SPX, we were looking for this to tighten up right here and then break out. And as we got close to the lunch hour, that really became evident that wasn't happening. So I said, oh, this is going to be a consolidation day. Now it's more like a 50-50 whether this breaks up or down. And so we trimmed it down, and before, you know, we trimmed it down into the lunch hour here, and then we ended up dipping after that. But the point is, though, yeah, I want a huge breakout, right? I'm looking for a big breakout. That's why we're positioning long, so we can get through that 5,500 handle, take some profit, and then if it goes, it goes. We get the runners to pay out big time. But at some point here today, even though our thesis was right initially, we got that initial like impulsive run in the morning, that big whoosh right there. It didn't follow through, right? And I said, okay, well, it bought right back up, so it can go through. Over time, though, it stopped happening. And again, you have to shift. Okay, this is not the market we want, right? But it's the market we have, and it's important not to force this. And when you're in this tight of a range after being, you know, in 300-point ranges every day, it's important to not look for that trend, right? The market only trends 10 to 15% of the time. The other rest of the time, it's chopping. And I just think it's a good opportunity to talk about that, because I don't discuss it that often. I discuss it every single day in the trading room, but it's just a good lesson to remember. But this is absolutely coiled here. Look at that hourly. I mean, even like the 2 hour, it's like just as tight. 4 hours getting there too. So we should see some type of a move here, but we'll see. Again, weekly close for from a swing trading standpoint. By the way, I did take some gains today on some long positions and kind of trimmed down. But yeah, I still think 5,500, a break above that is a huge win for bulls on a weekly close. But we'll see if that remains or becomes true here. But anyway, Qs here, possibly a positive here for the market, as the Qs are outperforming, and the Russell actually outperformed here. So you see the spiders negative, the Russell and the Qs leading the tape, the Dow and the S&P down. That's usually a good configuration. Part of the Russell, a big part of the Russell is regional banks. KRE led the market here. We had Citigroup and BAC reporting this morning, and they were up big. So that did help out. We also had some favorable news from semiconductors here today, with NVIDIA getting kind of the Trump blessing. As far as, they're getting the fast track to build their facilities, et cetera, et cetera. So we had a positive, configured tape for the most part, but no follow through here. Now, what would change my thoughts here? If we consolidate really tight for a few more days, yeah, then I think the path of least resistance goes up very easily. But we'll see what happens here. We'll see if volatility has a little bit of an opening tomorrow. But yeah, the Russell did lead a little bit with those regional banks. Dow flat to lower, nothing really terrible. Semis, again, still kind of struggling to get through that 210 area, but that's obviously a big spot. IGV was strong pretty much all day. Did not participate much in any of the pulling back. So IGV cloud still remains a strong sector here. Transports were down, but still inside of that big reversal bar. So not the worst look here. Interest rates today did come down again. And there's the 2-year. 5s, 10s, and 30s were down the most. Well, 30 did come off the lows a little bit here. And not my TLT, but my long bond position is still in the money, still doing all right, although it is coming in off the highs a little bit here. We'll see if it gets a little bit more out of it. By the way, Powell is speaking at 1:15 tomorrow, so that should be fun. We got retail sales and stuff like that in the morning too. XHP down 73 cents. This was strong early and then came back in. VNQ was strong early, and that held up pretty much most of the day too. Breadth here, not the greatest. I mean, it's like a flat day, but a lot of sectors held up okay. Some of them didn't. Again, XLF, that was strong off those bank earnings. JPM is pulling back to red though. Morgan Stanley, Goldman still green. Talk about KRE, KBE up as well, and broker dealers here flat to positive. And they're going to hold above that 200 moving average, which is good. Oil was strong earlier and then kind of dipped on that tariff news, but then came back. I actually like this setup here. Speaking of looking like it wants a trend, I like that setup here. Big reversal followed by a tightening range, usually pretty good on declining volume. I do like that. Doesn't mean it breaks out tomorrow, but it is looking pretty sharp to me. And XLE is the same, although it is a lot of a much sloppier pattern. XOP and OIH, again, very similar there. Nat gas here flat, but it did come off the lows. We'll see. It's got to get back above that 360 area. Dollar managed to carve out a green day, so I mean that might as well be at 52-week highs. Yeah, for the way this has been trading lately, but I mean, this is a pedestrian day. Yeah, the good news is you're basically, at least you took out the previous day high. This has got a lot of work to do. This level has been a rock, though, for years, so we'll see if it holds up again. A dollar down. Gold continuing up. Still no new highs, but that is still very strong. GDX, new highs. Again, this is why I haven't pulled the trigger on a gold short. So this is still, I mean, it's funny now they want to outperform. Like, you would have thought that, okay, they hold above 2,200 for like, if gold spot holds over above 2,200 for like a month, they'll catch up. Now it wants to catch up. So just, you can't make it up, but still way off the all-time high though. Again, definitely not euphoria in any shape or form. But it can get there quickly. Anyway, silver here up on the day. Again, nice recovery here. It's likely going to have a lower high, though, at some point if it's going to try and go back up to 35. But decent move here. Platinum up into the 20 MA. That may back off tomorrow. Palladium here got to clear 1,000 to rally. And then copper inside hammer. So that's hanging in there. Nice recovery there, too. Bitcoin was a green to red day, so it actually held up really nicely. It was actually outperforming in the morning and then did pull back. So there's kind of a mini little inside bar here, but I'm still kind of neutral on it. It does look like momentum is a little bit to the positive side, but again, just kind of unbiased on that right now. Overall, we'll see what happens here tomorrow. Again, I do think we could see a little bit of movement here. I just think this is going to be a heavy resistance now. Again, I know that I was looking for an update today to possibly go up in and test that, but I didn't think we were going to just like blow through it. That said, we're kind of just hanging here. And I think anyway, bulls, you want to see a little bit more consolidation, even if you're like hyper bullish. The bigger the base here, the more of a move you can make. So I think that's something you'd want to see. But tomorrow, I don't know. I'd be shocked if we can stay in this range, at least on an intraday basis, this tight for much longer. But we'll see what happens here. So, anyways, guys, I'll wrap it up here. Again, you guys take care. Don't forget to come find me on carnivoretrades.com. I will see you guys all tomorrow.